What if, beneath our feet, there exists a hidden passage? Not just a cave, but a gateway. A place where ancient texts claim beings once entered the earth, not as visitors, but as something more. Across different cultures, there are stories of entrances leading deep below the surface, places connected to another realm. In Indian mythology, this realm is known as Pataal Lok. But what if these stories weren't just symbolic? What if there really was a gate beneath? A place where something once crossed over. This is the mystery of the hidden gateway, where the gods were said to enter the earth. Welcome to Curiosity Rift.
Imagine standing at a coordinate where the land of the living terminates. Across the ancient world, civilizations identified specific physical thresholds, points on a map where the air changed and the earth opened. And they believed these were the exact gates where our reality dissolves into the realm of the dead. In the Vedic tradition, the universe follows a vertical hierarchy. The most unsettling and terrifying dimensions exist directly beneath human feet, stacked in a descent of increasing depth and mystery. This is Patala, a subterranean underworld composed of 7 distinct layers. These realms are characterized by immense beauty and opulence, lit entirely by the radiance of gemstones worn by the Nagas, the serpent people who inhabit the deep. Hindu texts treat this world as a physical destination. Legend says King Rituparna discovered an entry point in the Himalayan forest, the Pataal Bhuvaneshwar cave. He ventured 90 feet below the surface, encountering a gathering of the gods within the limestone chambers. To the ancients, the underworld required no abstract leap of faith. It was a very tangible territory, accessible to anyone brave enough to step through the right fracture in the earth. The Maya of the Yucatan Peninsula identified their own place of fear, known as Xibalba. Because the region lacks surface rivers, the Maya viewed the thousands of natural sinkholes and water-filled caves as the primary conduits to this shadow realm. Entering the submerged mouth of the Actun Tinichel Muknal cave in Belize marks a transition into that spiritual landscape. Deep within these narrow limestone passages, archaeologists have uncovered the calcified remains of human sacrifices, evidence of the rituals performed to appease the lords of Xibalba. On the southern tip of mainland Greece, the rugged caves of Cape Matapan served as a primary Greco-Roman gateway to Hades. The harsh, desolate environment reinforced the belief that this was where the sovereignty of the living ended and the domain of the dead began. In modern-day Turkey, the city of Hierapolis contains a sanctuary known as the Plutonian. This religious site was constructed directly over a cavern that emitted a thick, misty vapor described as the lethal breath of the hellhound Cerberus. These disparate civilizations all shared the same impulse. They identified geographical anomalies and encased them in sacred, terrifying architecture to guard the paths they believed led downward. At the Plutonian, priests demonstrated the power of the gods through lethal theater. They would cast bulls or small birds into the cave's mist and watch as the animals died instantly, while the priests, who had learned to find pockets of oxygen or hold their breath, emerged unharmed. A similar dread surrounded Mount Hekla in Iceland. Following the catastrophic 1104 eruption, medieval Europeans labeled the volcano the prison of Judas, believing the sounds of escaping gas were the screams of the damned. Witnesses described birds flying through the volcanic ash as the souls of the damned being carried away by demons. While we now recognize these as animals caught in the smoke, the site cemented Hekla's reputation as a demonic portal for centuries. These legendary gateways often share a documented geological signature, from the volcanic crater of Avernus in Italy to the seismic coastline of Cape Matapan. These sites align with the Earth's active fractures. Modern researchers call this tectonic geomythology. The grotto at Hierapolis sits directly above the Babadog fault line, allowing geogenic carbon dioxide to escape. Heavier than air, the gas accumulates into a lethal lake on the floor. Bulls and birds succumbed instantly, while priests stood safely above the invisible pool. Science confirms the ancient warnings. These were not imagined portals, but physical vents for the Earth's toxic breath. The Maya, the Greeks, and the Hindus each identified specific deadly locations as forbidden boundaries. Together, their stories form a global map of the netherworld, rooted in the Earth's most unstable places. Our modern vocabulary uses chemical formulas and tectonic maps to define the subterranean. Yet the core experience remains, a visceral response to a boundary that feels inherently dangerous. Despite our measurements and safety rails, the sensation of being in a place not meant for humans persists whenever we stand at these thresholds. When you stand at the mouth of a deep fracture and feel the subterranean wind, you feel the earth exhale its ancient secrets. We have mapped these gateways, but they remain open. Some doors were never intended to be explored.
The idea of a gateway beneath the earth has existed for centuries, not just in one culture, but across many. Some see it as mythology. Others believe it hides something real. A connection between worlds we don't fully understand. Because if such a place exists, then it changes everything we think we know about history, about reality, and about what lies beneath us. So the question remains, was it just a story or a memory of something that once existed? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you're curious about hidden worlds, ancient mysteries, and unexplained truths, make sure to subscribe to Curiosity Rift. Because sometimes the greatest secrets aren't above us, they're below.